Were the first 25 games of the season really just them gaslighting us for no reason? I mean, they're definitely not out of the woods yet, but like, I don't believe anything anymore. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 32 of the regular season, where the Astros continue to gaslight a fan base by winning 5-3 over the Seattle Mariners and shrink the division lead to but 5 games, which is an insane sentence that like a week ago I would not have believed. Like, this team was dead. They were dead and in the ground. They were dead and buried. The casket had been lowered. The dirt had been pushed atop of it. We were, at least I was in the space of like, you know what? Hey, it was super fun. Probably a bad season. Gonna be way below 500. They're cooked, you know. Next year is gonna be another story, but at least for this year, we can dust our hands, and you know what? It's fine. We've got all the fun memories, and they were incredible for all that time period. And then a week happens, where they go down to Mexico and win 2 games against an inferior, vastly inferior Rockies opponent. And everyone goes, well, yeah, but it was the Rockies. And then they play the Guardians, and they take 2 of 3 in very convincing fashion, one of them. And everyone goes, well, it's only 5 games. And then they go up against a Mariners team, and they go down twice in the game. They're down 1-0, and they're down 3-1. But they end up winning it. And, dude, it was classic Astro baseball. Like, that was it. It's tale as old as time. The pitcher gets you deep, gives you a chance to win. Small ball wins it for you. You put the ball in play and you let people make mistakes. This is quintessential 2017 through 2022 Astro baseball. Like, personified. The first run the Astros get, ground out, but it's a productive one. A run comes home to tie it at 1 apiece from Jeremy Pena. Dylan Moore would put the Mariners up 3-1. But then in the 7th, bad pickoff attempt at third base. Jeremy Pena comes all the way home, 3-2. Mauricio Dubon gets a sac fly to make it 3-3. Altuve with one of the prettiest bunts you'll ever done see to make it 4-3. And then Alex Bregman draws a bases-loaded walk to make it 5-3. That was it. Those were the Astros that we've watched for all this time. Like, that's the team we've been begging for. That's the team we've been yearning for. It's what I said, top to bottom. I've preached in the past. Put the ball in play, because more often than not, or at least on occasion, the other team's going to screw something up. They're going to make a defensive lapse. The Astros did it last night, and they did that. Beating them defensively is a quintessential part of that Astros run, because they had one of the best defenses in the league. Their outfield was spectacular, and their infield was spectacular. When you had Yuli winning Gold Gloves, Altuve being Altuve, Correa straight to Pena was beautiful. Bregman still has an underrated glove at third base. Pena was the star last night, not just because he had a run scored off of basically a stolen base and an RBI grounder. Dude, his defense, unreal last night from Jeremy Pena. He's the star of the game for the Astros. They beat them by putting the ball in play and asking the other team to put the ball in play because their defense is better. That's what we've been looking for. And this is with Yordan having a bum night. Hasn't hit his stride yet. Does anyone in the fan base think Yordan Alvarez isn't going to find it? Of course he is. Maybe he's dealing with something, and maybe with this winning streak, he can either rest up a bit more, or they put him on a little IL for a minute. Put him on a stint there, let him have 2 weeks to fully recover, and bring him back. They haven't been able to do that because they've needed all of their horses to win games, but now they're kind of finding their stride. And then the bullpen looked great. You had Seth Martinez go, he had a clean inning. Ryan Presley picks up a strikeout in his. Josh Hader picks up a pair in his 9th inning for the save. Ronel Blanco gave you 6 3-run innings, which is, out of a guy like Blanco, great. Picked up 6 strikeouts. Like, this is them. This is the team we've missed. But there's an elephant in the room. It's a week. It is a week where they did really well. They went 5-1. And with that, they're still 8 games under 500. They're still 5 games back of the division lead. All of that has still put them at 4th place in the West. And people point that out. Comments here, Instagram, Twitter, or X if you want to be stupid about it. Talking about how guys are getting way too high on a team that's so far under 500. Taking all these pot shots at the Astros, all these shots at the fan base, who aren't even so much saying much more than, wow, this is a really solid week. They're putting the pieces back together. That's great. And yet everyone around us comes to chime in and talk about how it's irrelevant. Here is what I'm saying. It very well could be. Maybe it's just a hot week for a team that's still well below 500. That's possible. There's been a lot more throughout the full season to imply that that could be it. And I'm not going to sit here and say, no, they're 100% they're back. They're perfect. They're great. Because they still have a lot more to dig. But all the comments from different people talking about how it's irrelevant, how they're not scared of the Astros, how this is just a random hot streak for a bad team, it reeks of fear. The Astros are still 8 games under 500. They've had one hot week. And you can see from around the league that people are still scared. They still view Houston as the boogeyman of the American League. Because even with all these teams that are so many wins ahead of us, 9 games up, 8 games up, 7 games up, from around Major League Baseball. And they still keep an eye on the Astros, who just have a hot week going. That's all it is. And yet they all still focus, because deep down in the recesses of their minds, they fear what they could do. I don't know that this team will do it, but I do know that it's been a really fun week. And the way they're playing right now, I think they'd like to continue this fun week. And they'll have a chance to this evening. 7:15 Eastern, 6:15 Central for the second game of the Seattle Mariners series. The Astros are going to have Framber Valdez to the mound, and the Mariners are going to have Logan Gilbert to the mound. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that's all I have to say. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.